very good afternoon to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. You're just in time for news feed here on TV47 with me, Muthoni Maina. This send us your feedback at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms with 22047 being our SMS line. Now, starting off, residents in Kimugundura village, Laikipia County, have urged the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, to investigate a case where a young teenager was shot dead during a confrontation with herders. The residents claim that the 17-year-old was fatally injured by law enforcers as they drove a herd of cattle to a local police post after being found grazing illegally on a private farm. According to the community spokesperson, Saituk Kaparo, there were no armed bandits at the scene, but only herders who were grazing. He is pleading for immediate action to bring the culprits to book and the family compensated.
Ile kijana ambayo ya kwanza amepigwa ilipigwa tarehe 1 mwezi wa 9 2015. Alipigwa risasi hapa tuka hii shamba. Tumelia IPOA, aipewa kashunguza na hakuna mali ilienda. Kwa hivyo tena hii askari ya hii kijana ambaye alipigwa ya miaka 17. Tunaomba IPOA ajaribu kuingilia, manake serikali ya Kenya ifuate sheria. Na serikali ya Kenya haangalii haki za binadamu. Mtoto kuuliwa kama ni mnyama ameuliwa leo, helicopter angekuwa hapa. Na kwa vile binadamu ameuliwa hakuna mtu angekuwa hapa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba IPOA ya ichunguze na pia tuangalie hiyo ng'ombe hiyo mtoto, manaka hakuna mwenyewe, ilifungiwa. Hatujui kama ng'ombe yote imetoka ama ameuza.
Sasa jana ndio mtu sasa. Lakini ile kitu mimi naambia tena kurudia IPOA. Iko askari naitwa MPR walishanganyana jana na polisi ya Karionga. Stock hajawahi kufanya kitendo kama hii. Stock. Kwa hivyo hawa wawekwe kando, wachunguzwe Karionga, huko ndio yuko na shida.
Ambaye anamiliki shamba, ambaye anatunyanyasa, Kwa nini hatupigi risasi Oldaiga? Kwa nini hatupigi risasi hapo na Soit, Kinyon, Mongoni, hii mashamba ingine? Kwa nini hii ambayo wanasema ni ya Mwafrika mwenzetu anatunyanyasa?
Moving on, hundreds of angry residents invaded a piece of land earmarked for a public market that had been allegedly grabbed within the disputed 17-acre South Ngariama Ranch in Nzoia East constituency, Kirinyaga County. Armed with pangas, jembes and slashes, the residents cleared the bushes on the land and allotted themselves areas where they will construct market stalls. The traders allege the grabbed piece of land is being sold to a private developer. Apollo Njeru, the chairman of Mihirega Kenda Elders, said that the market is part of 50 acres of land in the area, which was earmarked for public amenities, some of which have already been grabbed. Njeru said that the 5 acres were allocated for the construction of a dispensary, 5 acres are allocated for a stadium, and 3 acres are allocated for a police station and a matatu terminus, all of which have been grabbed and allegedly sold. The claim they have waited for the title deed since 2009 to no avail, calling on the National Land Commission to intervene.
Nimemwambia tuko na stadium eka na tuna ofisi ya serikali ya eka na tuna hospitali eka na tuna mnanda hapa eka 2, tuna stage hapa imekwisha na kuna sirota imeipio na tuna market na library na wabisi ya DC ya dio iko ha orende nayo hatujui kama iko imeenda. Hiyo kitu yote tunataka serikali iturudishie. Hatutaki mengi na hatutaki pita. Tunataka hiyo turudishio kwa sababu watoto wetu watapigia mpira wapi stadium ikienda. Haya akina mama wakipata mimba watakwenda kujipungulia wapi hospitali ikienda? Haya sasa security yetu tunaulisha serikali. Tunaona hapa iko kitu kinaendelea. Askari walipigwa transfer. ofisi yetu sasa hatuna security sasa. Askari wameondolewa. Sasa tunauliza mumwambie Kebisho atuletee security maana wakati hatuna askari. Tukipatiwa askari ni sawa sawa. Sasa tujui tutafanya nini kwa sababu tuna security inalindwa ni wananchi. Waswahili walisema ukimkuta simba amelala usimuamuse. Sasa hatukuwa mwisho mambo ya piombo yetu ilienda kuendelea, lakini sasa tumeamuka. Si mwelevu mjinga akirebuka, sasa tumerebuka kushuka mali
Uliza title inafika wapi? Nikaenda kule nikaambiwa ati gavana wa Igoro anakataa tupewe title. Nimeenda kule kuuliza. Kwa hivyo kwa basi kwa sababu sina mengi sana tunangoja. Na sisi tunasema kwa kauli moja hakuna sababu yote ile tunatenga ya umma itakwenda na mtu yoyote. Tutakataa.
Tutaenda wapi kama hii Kenya yetu itakuwa ya matajiri wawili watatu ambao wanaweza kujenga motel? Situpatiwe hapa hii soko ili tujenge angalau kitu kidogo ili tuwe tunauza mboga zetu hapa, tunakunja tunauza vitu zetu angalau tupate kitu kidogo tu mfukoni. Sini hivyo akina mama? Ni sisi hatuwezi tukatengeneza soko hapa tukakuwa tunakaa hapa. Munjipe nguvu na mufanye. Sasa mimi natumana kwa rais tu. Sisi hatuna pahali ya kuusia mboga. Na mtu anatuambia tukae. Sisi wananchi ndio tumesema tutakaa hapa bila viongozi yoyote. Bishop ni mtu mdogo sana kwa rais. Sema ni wamepeleka kenda ni mdogo kwa rais. Lakini tunamuomba watu angalie mpaka tufike mwisho, tusipunguzwe hapa, tukae kama watoto wao mpaka mwisho. Tutawasika mkono na watusike mkono.
And to the political helm, as Kenya Kwanza leaders from the North Rift region have castigated Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga as they drum up support for their presidential candidate William Ruto. The team says their coalition is best placed to bring economic transformation to this country. The leaders were speaking in a Thanksgiving ceremony for Nzoia, Kenya Kwanza gubernatorial candidate Chris Wamalwa after his clearance by IEBC. Our reporter Boniface Barra has the details.
Ile manifesto yetu mtaona kama ni ile ya ukweli kabisa, sio ile ya kudanganya wananchi. Kwa mfano, mara mingi naona vile wananchi wanadanganywa. Ati kila vijana atapewa shilingi 6,000 kwa mwezi. Hakuna. Hiyo ni udanganyifu peupe wananchi wenzangu.
Hata sasa wale wapinzani pia wameanza kufanya mipango yao ikilinganishwa na hii yetu, kwa sababu hawakuwa na ajenda kabisa. Tunataka tufuate mfumo mpya wa siasa, mfumo ambao udanganyifu na uongo na wizi itapungua Kenya hii. Hiyo manifesto haina mwelekeo because it is just providing generalities. Inaongea mambo makubwa, is a very big shopping list. You cannot trace Migori there. You cannot trace the priorities of Kisii.
Wenzetu walitoa manifesto yao ambayo hawakujua wanasema nini, because it was a copy paste of what we say in rallies. Wakati walienda kuandika wakasahau, mpaka wakatusi watu wa kuuza vituma. Sisi watu wa bottom up, we support every business, iwe ndogo iwe kubwa, ni biashara ambayo sisi tunafanya.
Now, one Kilifi County gubernatorial aspirant has been disqualified by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) for failing to have proper documents to enable him vie for the top seat. Noti Kombe, a former Magarini Member of Parliament, was locked out of the gubernatorial race after only 6 candidates were cleared to contest for the race to succeed Governor Amason Kingi, who is set to complete his second and last term in office. Kilifi County Returning Officer Hussein Martin Gure said so far they have cleared 16 candidates, including 8 women, to vie for the top county seats of governor, senator and woman representative.
The registration exercise across the country, and as far as Kilifi County is concerned, we have cleared a total of 16 people for the county seats, the 3 county seats of governor, senator and county woman member of National Assembly.
Bwana returning officer amenambia ikiwa ule ulalamishi wangu unaweza kumfikia mapema, wataniruhusu niandikishwe hata wakati ukiwa umeisha. Kwa hivyo mimi naambia wale supporters wangu wasivunjike moyo, manake simu nimepata nyingi sana. Je, nimepitishwa. Ninajua, lakini msiwe na wasiwasi, Kombe anasimama na atakuwa.
Now, Kiambu County UDA Senatorial candidate Karongo Dhangwa has vowed to fight back after the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC rejected to clear him on the basis that he was impeached from office when he was serving as the Kiambu County CEC in charge of youth and sports. This even after a 3-judge bench gave him the green light to present his papers to the IEBC. Karongo says IEBC is discriminating against him and there are people out to frustrate his senatorial bid.
Why do we have people seated somewhere saying you cannot clear somebody for a purported impeachment that never happened? I'm even worried. Are they confusing me with one of the governors who are impeached? Because you cannot even impeach a CEC from an office. That word impeachment is not even anywhere in the County Government Act. But they are just playing politics. They can clear convicts. They can clear people who are even in court for murder. They can clear people who have even jailed for 64 years. But they cannot even face me into my eye or my eyes and tell me that we are not going to clear you because of this and that. They are not giving any reason.
Moving on, various political candidates eyeing various political seats in Embu County have pledged to conduct peaceful and issue-based campaigns after receiving a nod from IEBC to vie come the August polls. Majority have promised to maintain good conduct and mutual respect to their competitors as the electoral body concludes the vetting exercise, marking the beginning of heated campaigns for the August 9 elections. Makema Ward Rep Philip Nzagi, who is seeking a second term in office, said peace was the cornerstone of a developing country and must be jealously guarded at all times, especially during the campaign period when prospects of violence are high. Speaking after he was cleared to defend his seat on a Wiper Democratic Movement party, Zangi called on his opponents to engage in issue-based campaigns with actionable plans.
Siasa ya sera Makema, na najua ya kwamba wale ambao pengine tunashindana na wao pia watafanya siasa ya amani.
Come 9 August tutafanya uchaguzi wenye utakuwa na furugu. Tunataka kufanya siasa ya amani ndio angalau tupate viongozi wale wanaofaa kuhudumia mwananchi wa Kenya. Vile ningeomba candidate wenzangu mahali popote walipo, kuanzia kwa president mpaka huku chini the MCAs, ningeomba tukiingia kwa uwanja, wacha kila mtu afanye kazi yake kwa amani, tusiwe na watu kupigana hapa na pale ama kukuwa na furugu, kwa sababu tunahitaji kukuwa na viongozi wenye nidhamu na viongozi wenye leaders who can be emulated by our future leaders.
Tungangane kwa sababu kama tunataka uongozi, it is not going to be brought to us on a silver platter. Lazima tuingie huko mashinani, lazima tungangane kama hao wenzetu wengine, ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumeshughulikia mashida yetu. Na tena hata kiti ya kupatiwa hivi kama ujangangania inaonekana kama tunapatiwa tu kama sisi ni flower girls, lakini ukiingia kwa ground na ungangane na wamama, mjue sisi ndio tuko wengi. Wamama mkiitikia, tushikane na tuchague wale wamama ambao wamejitokeza, kwa sababu kwa mama kujitokeza it is a lot of hard work kujitokeza kwenda kutafuta elective position.
Still on election matters, National Cohesion and Integration Commission is currently conducting a sensitization exercise on peaceful elections in Western Region, a 4-day workshop that has brought together women and youth from Kakamega and Vihiga counties. Now let's listen into that.
Tunaenda katika njia iliyo bora na nimejua tutaweza kupata ushindi wa kuwa na amani Kenya. Kenya ni yangu, Kenya ni yako, hata wewe unawajibika.
Hapo tu ya mwisho, mara nyingi tumesikia kwamba vijana ndio wanatumika wakati wa furuku. Wamama wanahusishwaje, wanatumiwaje?
Vijana tunasema, unajua wamama wanaweza kutumiwa hata kueleza wale vijana, kuwatuma hao vijana. Kwa hivyo sisi pia tunawaambia wakati mwingine wanapouza pale mboga, wako na pale duka ama wanatembea, wako na vikundi mbalimbali. Sometimes unapata wanasiasa wanaenda kwao, wanawaambia wewe ndio unaweza kutuletea vikundi mbalimbali. Tuweze kuwapatia pesa ya kuweza kutusaidia katika campaigns. Na unapata kwamba hivyo sasa wanapofanya hivyo wanapata kuna shida pale mashinani. Kwa hivyo tunajaribu tukuambia kwamba wasiendelee kutumika kwa kufanyia wengine makelele, kwa kurusha mawe, kwa kuenda kutumia vijana, kwa kuenda kuleta vijana ili waweze kutumika kwa ile jambo. Kwa sababu kijana labda hata yule ambaye amemwita ni huyu mama. Na mama ametumiwa na nani? Na mwanasiasa. Kwa sababu tunajaribu kuwaonya tu wasiweze kutumika.
Na labda tu niulize, so far mmeenda counties ngapi? Na pia tumeambiwa kwamba kuna peace caravan ambayo mnaandaa, sijui ni wapi na lini?
Asante. Ningependa kumpa mwenzangu director aweze kukamilisha kipindi sehemu hiyo, pia naye akaweze kuyajibu haya maswali kwa sababu sote tunafanya kazi pamoja.
Okay.
Karibu.
Asanteni sana. So far tumeweza kuhamasisha counties 12. Kwa majina naitwa Millicent Okach, nafanya na NCIC kama director ya research and knowledge management. So far tumehamasisha counties 12, tukizunguka tukitarget vijana, tukitarget general public na hata wanawake. Na tuna imani ya kwamba katika zile counties ambazo tumezihorodhisha 33 in total, tutaweza kuwafikishia. So far tumefikisha 12, na katika hii eneo ya Western tumebakisha Busia peke yake, na pia Busia iko katika mpangilio. Katika kila county tunaziita county engagement. Tukikuja katika county engagement, tuko na mpangilio ya kuhamasisha wanawake, kuhamasisha vijana, kuhamasisha general stakeholders inaleta sectors mbalimbali kama interfaith, kama wanabiashara, kama peace actors, na pia tuko na mpangilio maalum ya kuhamasisha police na security in total. So kesho tutakuwa eneo ya Kakamega tukihamasisha security sector, na pia hiyo kesho tutakuwa na peace caravan ambayo itazunguka.
Indeed, those are some of the sentiments being issued there in regards to the county engagement plans. In regards to the role of women in peace building, they have cited that they have sensitized 12 counties so far, and Busia is also part of that sensitization program. Tomorrow they will be headed to Kakamega County, where they will be able to sensitize, or rather talk to the security operators. And in these county engagement plans, they have cited on sensitizing women, the youth, and also the interfaith council as well, and also citing that rather urging women to be pillars of peace in the electioneering period. Now moving on, Garissa Governor Ali Korane has lauded Azimio la Umoja Coalition presidential candidate Raila Odinga's 10-point agenda in his manifesto, saying that it captures the aspirations of Kenyans, addressing members members of the Kamba community living in Garissa, Korane, who embarked on a mission to woo voters as he seeks re-election, said that the manifesto was good since it had captured all the important sectors, especially tackling corruption. Korane, who will be contesting on a Jubilee ticket and who is leading Azimio campaigns in Northeastern together with Kirinyaga, urged the electorate to vote for Azimio candidates, exuding confidence of winning.
Ya kwamba nyinyi ni watu ambao mmetawanyika, ambao mko kila mahali. Nataka tujitahidi nyinyi muwe na umoja, muwe na msimamo mmoja, tuwe na nyinyi, munipigie kura na nyinyi nihakikisha kwamba nimeshirikisha nyinyi katika serikali, mmepata haki yenu, tafute mawaidha yenu ili tuweze watu ambao wamefaulu pamoja. Vile nilivyosema ya kwamba mheshimiwa amesema ya kwamba mambo ya corruption ambayo inawafaidisha hao watu ya Kenya kwisha. Mheshimiwa amesema ya kwamba atafanya corruption kuwa threat to national security. Kwa hivyo tusiwapatie wale nafasi, lakini tukiwa pamoja, tukiwa na kiongozi wetu Raila Amolo Odinga, nataka tujitahidi tuweze kufaulu pamoja.
James Orengo will face off with 3 opponents for the Siaya gubernatorial seat as the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC concluded the nomination process in Siaya. Among the candidates to face the veteran politician will be United Democratic Alliance candidate Millicent Athiambo Oduor, who breathed a sigh of relief after IEBC's tribunal in Nairobi cleared her to look for an alternative running mate after the earlier one was disqualified for failure to resign from public service. She will now face it off with Orengo from ODM, former Rarieda Member of Parliament Nicholas Gumbo, who is vying on the United Democratic Movement ticket, and independent candidate William Ochieng Otieno.
Idiosyncratic, it is selfish, and it is being propagated by people who really have either no record or no agenda for the people. Raila himself is not running on ODM ticket. Raila is running on Azimio ticket. And we saw what happened in Nairobi, which is what ought to play out here.
Yes, 2017 I was a deputy governor in Jubilee Party. This time I'm the governor in UDA Party. So because of the experience of that time, I felt I need to come up so that I work for my people to give back to the society. Because when you are a deputy, you are not in full force. You are not in control. But this time, I'm in the control. And I will do what it takes to help my Siaya people, because we are in poverty.
We have seen what the ballot paper is going to look like. And my name and Odul's name is first on the ballot paper. And we think that that's a sign of what is to come. Although that is done alphabetically, I don't want to make anybody raise concerns with the IEBC. But by the grace of God, we are first on the ballot paper. I'm saying this because, you know, even when I first ran in Parliament for Uganda constituency, again, the same thing happened.
Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission in Migori County has cleared Senator Ochilo Ayako to vie for the gubernatorial position in Migori County. Speaking after being issued with a certificate, Ayako vowed to conduct peaceful campaigns across the county in order to promote a peaceful election in August. He also said that he will fight corruption and offer equitable distribution of resources to all residents of Migori County.
We know that this race in Migori County is ODM and Team Pindra to win. We are the ones that have every likelihood.
2 women from the minority Kuria community have been cleared by IEBC to contest for the gubernatorial position in Migori County. Rebecca Maroa, a former county executive committee member for water and energy in Migori County, is vying for the position on the United Democratic Alliance Party and has picked John Zata from Rongo Sub-County as her running mate. Jen Moronge is eyeing the coveted county top seat on the United Progressive Alliance UPA MCA and has vowed to include all the tribes and communities into her administration should she clinch the seat after August 9th general elections.
In my manifesto that I'll make sure that the Migorians get to enjoy.
It's a very happy day for me because I have just been cleared by the IEBC together with my running mate, Honorable John Zata. This region is perceived to be an ODM zone, it's true, but I think democracy was started by BAMBA himself. He's very democratic, and I think he showed us a way that we should not concentrate in one party alone.
Now on to land matters, as the county government of Kiambu, in conjunction with the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning and the National Land Commission, has begun issuance of 50,000 title deeds to residents living in informal settlements within the county. Some of the informal settlements set to benefit from the program that is being implemented under the Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Program include Umoja, Kiandutu, Gishagi, Kanjeru, Kiangombe, Kiamburi, Misri, Fort Jesus and Bosnia, among others. Governor James Nyoro said that the move to issue residents in the informal settlements with the title deeds is aimed at improving the living conditions of the residents and strengthening security of tenure of their land parcels, noting that it will bring an end to protracted land disputes in the settlements. Other areas said to benefit with the vital land ownership documents include Nzoia Shopping Center and Nzoia scheme, where over 6,500 residents will receive the documents in a month's time.
Serikali inatujua, lakini kutoka na hapo, kutoka wakati kisi iliingia hapa nikasemekana tutapatiwa title na wakiambatana na ministry. Sasa tumeona ni ukweli, sababu title tuko nazo mikononi. Tumesema ni asante kwa serikali.
Nimeshukuru siku ya leo kwa kuwa governor wetu Nyoro ameweza kutuletea title deed, na ninashukuru sana hata kwa serikali kubwa ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, kwa sababu tumeishi kwa miaka mingi tangu 1996 tulipoingia mahali hapa. Tumekuwa tukiteseka, tukikaa kama Islamu.
Jambo la pili itakuwa kutengeneza barabara, kutengeneza mataa, kutengeneza maji na kutengeneza ziwa, kwa sababu watu wa informal settlement tumesema ni lazima wakae kama wananchi wale wengine.
On to peace matters, as a section of women drawn from the religious fraternity of Kisumu County are calling on the country, led by political leaders, to conduct campaigns and elections in the country. Speaking in Kisumu, led by Bishop Beatrice Olo, during a peace forum organized by NCCK Women League, the women have urged all women in the country to lead by being peace ambassadors from their homes and throughout the country. At the same time, they urged politicians to exercise decorum while campaigning in various parts of the country to avoid destroying the fruits of peace that have been there since the handshake.
My fellow ladies and all our clergy within Kisumu County, let us talk peace, eat peace, sleep peace, so that this time round Kisumu will be number one with peaceful elections, peaceful campaigns and peaceful county after the elections.
And as responsibility as mothers, we have to take that and go back. Preach peace to these our young sons and daughters. Teach them how to live in peace, because where there is no peace, God does not bestow his blessings there.
Let them do it in a peaceful manner. And as I know, with our youth today and with the technology which is very high, they are going to do it in a peaceful way.
Now that report highlighting on the call for peaceful campaigns takes us for a very short break. We will be right back with more. Do keep it right here.
TV47 Country Ride brings you the great country music entertainment show. Dust your boots, put your hats and ride the night with us.
Up from San Antonio.
Yes, from all regions in Kenya. Country Ride gives you the best musical experience to you and your family.
She's the lead.
Bring out the best of country magical moments by celebrating our fans' music, powered by DJ Stiga and host CK the Cowgirl.
Watch the Country Ride every Sunday, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Only on TV47, the home of great entertainment.
Let's ride to the night together.
This is The Grind. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. T.S. Eliot.
So I decided, let me just take this up, put the teaching on hold first. Let me try see where this can go.
I mean, the opportunities are a lot. But is that all you need? Oh wait, there's more. This seems a little too much. Let's slow it down.
You do this is something you do out of passion.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I navigate through the maze of the increasingly dynamic business environment and quiet down the noises. As I help you flourish in business, every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Wakey wakey, time for fun. Can you sing or dance?
I need your love, I need your time.
Now, let's get artsy.
We are doing paper montage, and what we need is gazettes, my glue, scissors, and luminous paper.
Get your bin bag, it's story time.
Today we're reading the story about Thumbelina, Little Tiny. Have you read this story before?
Every Saturday at 9 a.m., Kids on the Block, your home of unlimited fun.
The next
Welcome back to Newsfeed. Now let's head back to political matters, as Kenya Kwanza leaders from the North Rift region have castigated Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga as they drum up support for their presidential candidate William Ruto. The team says their coalition is best placed to bring economic transformation to this country. The leaders were speaking in a Thanksgiving ceremony from Nzoia, Kenya Kwanza gubernatorial candidate Chris Wamalwa after he was cleared by IEBC. Our reporter Boniface Baraza has the details.
The leaders led by Wazingishu Governor Jackson Mandago have poked holes in Raila's presidential bid, saying he has no agenda for common mwananchi.
Waje niwaulize watu wa Nzoia, ukiweka Raila Odinga hapa na uweke William Ruto hapa, nani atakuwa amelala baada ya dakika 30? Nani atakuwa amelala? Si Raila atakuwa amelala? Sasa kazi ya Kenya itaendeshwa ukilala.
The team rallied Kenyans to rally behind Kenya Kwanza as they fashioned Ruto's candidature as the one that seeks to address challenges facing the common mwananchi through the bottom-up economic model.
Hii kura hatutashinda kama mutatoka kwa wingi. Hiyo tarehe 9. Hii kura tunataka kushinda kiti ya urais na kura zaidi ya 60%. Ndio maneno ya maandamano Kenya hii, maneno ya handshake ikwishe.
Tunataka pesa mfukoni. Basi nawaletea salamu. The fifth president of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto.
In addition, they drummed up support for Kenya Kwanza gubernatorial candidate in Nzoia contest, Dr. Chris Wamalwa, and his running mate Joyce Cheruto Keter.
Tunataka kura 100% kwa Chris Wamalwa awe governor wa Nzoia hii.
Running mate wangu yeye ni mumama na vile vile she is youthful. Si vijana wamefurahia sasa? Vijana mpo!
Mheshimiwa Kristo na hakikisho kuwa atafanya kazi hapa Trans Nzoia. Ako na manifesto mzuri.
Kuna watu kule Cherangani wanaleta shida kina Kitun na kina Kirwa, nao mniachieni mimi, nitadili nao.
Elsewhere, DAP-K gubernatorial candidate George Natembea, who will face off with Wamalo in the Trans Nzoia gubernatorial race, has also drummed support for his bid ahead of August polls.
Rasmi, our determination kukomboa kaunti yetu saizi iko re-energized, iko rejuvenated, na ningependa kuomba wakazi wa Trans Nzoia watuunge mkono, tutembee nao kwa njia ya amani mpaka tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 wapige kura kwa njia ya amani na sisi wenyewe tujikomboe.
Nasema safari imeanza, tuendelee tushikane mikono mpaka tarehe 9. Asanteni sana.
Naamini the winning team and it's a new beginning for Trans Nzoia. Ukombozi umefika.
On his part to usawa kwa wote, gubernatorial candidate Wilfred Muraya has promised to focus on youth empowerment if elected as the county boss come August election.
This is a momentous occasion for the youth of Trans Nzoia, for the Generation Z. All aspirants have been selling to Mama Mboga, of which also we are going to get Mama Mboga.
Katika mageuzi ambayo tunaenda kuleta, sisi tunataka tuone matokeo. Matokeo ambayo tunaenda kuyaona, tunaenda kuona uboreshaji wa afya, tunaenda kuona uboreshaji wa kilimo Trans Nzoia.
Bonfas Barasa, TV47.
Thank you, Baraza, for that report, and our apologies for the mix-up that was witnessed earlier in regards to that report at the beginning of the bulletin. Now, moving on, more than 6,000 youth from Narok County are expected to benefit from Phase 3 of the Kazi Mtaani program, spearheaded by the State Department of Housing and funded by the Government of Kenya. The program, launched at the Kenya Forest Service KFS nursery, led by the Narok County Commissioner Isaac Masinde, is set to benefit the most vulnerable youth in the 8 sub-counties in the county. Those recruited will also benefit from a session of trainings which will include health, finance, cultural and government programs available to boost them financially.
This time, na target wards zote. In Narok County, we have 30 wards. Mbeleni si ilikuwa tu hapa Majengo. Hapa Majengo, Lulunga, Kirikoris, ilikuwa sehemu kidogo sana. Out of 8 sub-counties, ni sub-county 3 tu zilikuwa zinafaidika na first phase na second phase. Kwa hivyo this time serikali imepanua ili vijana wa Narok County yote waweze kufaidi kulingana na ile ward unatoka.
Na kwa sababu mumepata fursa ya kuingia zile maeneo mtakuwa mkipanda miti na kufanya shughuli zingine, ninawaomba muwe ambassador wetu, muweze kutujulisha nini inaendelea huko, na vijana mjiepushe na madawa ya kulevya.
Now, Dennis Karani, a man who was detained 2 weeks ago in connection with the gruesome murder of a Pishori syndicate boss, has been released. Karani has been released by Milimani Principal Magistrate Caroline Muthoni Njagi after the prosecution failed to prove its case against him. According to the magistrate, Karani has also been cleared of the murder charges presented against him in the court 2 weeks ago. Moving on, as the world commemorates World Oceans Day, ocean ecosystem stakeholders have called on the public to use the ocean wisely in order to sustain the future of marine life. Our reporter Patronila Goren is on standby from Mombasa County to bring us up to speed with the activities going on there as they mark the day.
Good afternoon, Mdoni Maina, to you and our viewers. We are coming to you live from Mombasa. And as you have stated, today being the World Oceans Day, we are commemorating, and Mombasa being the center of activities of the ocean, many people and organizations have come out to commemorate this day. Early in the morning, there was beach cleaning and other activities as well. And the Kenya Marine Fisheries Research Institute has also come out to commemorate the day by sensitizing the community about different and various activities of the ocean and how to use the ocean properly, and even how or the recommended methods of fishing to the people that do fishing here in Mombasa. So Mdoni Maina, maybe if I was to share the theme of the today's World Oceans Day is revitalization, and that is the collective action for the ocean. In a moment, I'll be joined by the Director General of KEMFRI and the Director General for Aquaculture and Fisheries in the State Department of Fisheries and Blue Economy, and they'll be sharing with us just what have they put in place to ensure that there is sustainability of the ocean in the country, as well as other measures that they have set. And so thank you very much, directors, for setting your time to speak to TV 47. Kindly, for the benefit of the viewer, please introduce yourself, and then you can tell us what are some of the measures that you put in place to ensure there is sustainability in the ocean.
Thank you very much. My name is James Njiro. James Njiro is the Director General of Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, as you said, in Mombasa. Kenya Marine is a research institution which its mandate is to generate information in terms of policy direction. So in terms of sustainability, as you have asked, what we do, we give information. For example, I'll give you one or two scenarios. What we have done through the State Department, we have been able to do stock assessment in the ocean. Now we know what is in the ocean, so that when we are exploiting, we know what is there. Like we have estimated up to 1,000, we used to have 26,000 metric tons of fish. That's what we are catching now. But our scientists tell us we can go up to 150,000 metric tons. So with this, we can be able now to tell investors, now you can invest and we can be able to carry this kind of fish, and we'll be able to leave the rest to continue. Also, in terms of environmental degradation, you know, all of us know what is happening in the environment in terms of climate change. So what we are doing in terms of mitigating this, we know the biggest cause of environmental degradation is carbon, the greenhouse gas. Our scientists, led by one Dr. James Cairo, is the first person in the world to start using mangroves as a carbon retainer, let me call it that way, whereby we have involved the communities in terms of planting mangroves, which absorbs almost 5 to 10 times the amount of carbon. So at the end of the day, we are able to stabilize, to mitigate what is happening in the environment. So those are some of the issues. There are many more, but probably because of time, let me deal with that for the time being.
And we've been talking a lot about the Ocean Decade, Prof. Now, what is the place of Kenya in the Ocean Decade now that we are celebrating and commemorating this day?
Again, in terms of the decade, I would say Kenya is number one, first in Africa. Why am I saying number one? It's because it is led by none other than the president. The president is leading from the front. First is in what we call the HLP panel, leaders. That is high-level panel, whereby we have 16 of them, and 3 of them are from Africa. His Excellency the President is number one, then led by, is leading. Then we have Ghana and we have Namibia. Again, His Excellency the President is also in what we call the Ocean Decade Patron, the Ocean Decade Alliance. And there are only 2 in Africa, him and somebody from the President of Seychelles. Again, we have also held conferences. Start with the first Blue Economy Conference in November 2018. It was the first in Africa, probably, again led by our government. Now we are heading to Portugal in 2022. On 26th of this month up to 1st July. Again on ocean issues, the UN Ocean Conference, which is co-hosted by Kenya and Portugal. Our head of state will be there. Our head of state will have a state visit. We are just from Stockholm last week, where the head of state again in the high-level panel. He opened the conference, and again he was involved in very many signing events. So Kenya is at the forefront, and in any ocean, in any blue economy, you cannot fail to hear the word Kenya. So we are in the front as far as the blue economy is concerned, and our government is in the front.
Maybe last question for you, Prof. What are you doing in terms of coral bleaching? We've had so many issues in terms of coral bleaching. As Kemfree, what are you doing?
Yes, indeed, coral bleaching could be due to many factors, but one of the major factors is the increase in temperature, or the world temperature, of course, because of these greenhouse gases. An increase of temperature of 1 to 2 degrees Celsius causes in the coral reef there are live organisms. When it becomes warm, they are extruded, they are killed, and at the end of the day, the coral becomes white, it dies. So what are we doing as a research institution? We have two mitigating measures. One, in terms of planting mangroves. Mikoko Pamoja, what I've said about Mikoko Pamoja at the coast, at Gazi and Kwale and the rest. As I said, Mikoko or mangroves takes a lot of carbon, absorbs a lot of carbon, and we are selling this carbon to the international market, and women are getting a lot of money. The other thing, what we are doing as a research institution, we are replanting. We have joined together with communities from Wasini. Wasini is Shimoni. We are replanting coral reefs in areas which have been degraded, and we have seen 2 to 3 years down the road, the coral reefs regenerate and are coming back. So the coral reefs where they have watered, they are able to come back. So some of the measures we have been able to come about with. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Njiru. Now, Mdoni, just give me a minute so that I can also speak to the Director of Aquaculture and Fisheries. For the benefit of the viewer, Director, please introduce yourself. And we've seen a lot of sensitization in terms of overfishing. What are you doing in overfishing?
Thank you very much. My name is Rodri Kundu. I'm a Director of Fisheries and Blue Economy in charge of fisheries and aquaculture development. We need to understand that fisheries is a source of food, it's a source of income, it's a source of employment. We are having so many youngsters after finishing schools, they have no other options but they switch to fishing as a source of, for economic reasons. So every year we are having so many people now focusing on the industry so that they can get occupation. Largely it has been focusing on the shallow areas of the marine waters, such that the species are under pressure and overexploited. So we are having reforms in the sector, both policy, legal and institutional framework, so that we can address the issue. We are now coming up with the legal instruments that will allow us now to venture deep into the deep sea. And right now we are having plans for transitioning the fishing from artisanal to semi-industrial and gradually to industrial. And that means that the current production that we are getting, or the catches we are getting from the marine waters, which stands at 25,000 metric tons, against a potential of 150,000 to 300,000 metric tons per year. So capacity building is now ongoing, where we are targeting the youth at least 1,000 per year for the next 5 years, so that they can have the skills to venture into deep sea fishing. And for purposes of preparing for the transition from artisanal to commercial, we are also putting up infrastructure at the fish landing sites. These ones are specifically for value addition, for good handling, so that we can create confidence among our consumers, and also with the regulations which are now we want to enforce. We want to ensure that the foreign vessels that will be operating in our waters, at least they have to land 30%. The 30% will add value to the local communities through value addition, creating jobs, and also getting more products and diversification. So target so far Liwatoni, In Mombasa, we have Shimoni Port, in Kwale, as well as Lamu Port, plus other infrastructure in Kilifi, where we are also improving, creating market centers for good fish handling.
Thank you very much, Roderick. Mdoni Maina, this is a topic that we can discuss for many hours because it is a sensitive aspect of the Mombasa economy and the coast region at large, because most people here depend on the ocean for their livelihood. So it is a topic that we can discuss a lot for a long, long time. But Mdoni, because of time, I choose to end there. And we will be following this up, even participating in the beach cleaning later on, and we will bring this to our viewers in our subsequent bulletin. Now back to you, Mdoni Maina.
Patronila Goren for that update in regards to the World Oceans Day, and also the two legislators have been able to tell us more in regards to that, in regards to capacity building, enforcement of regulations to 30% to add value to local communities, and also creating jobs for the youth. She's definitely still keeping an eye on that, and we'll have a much more detailed report for you later on in the other subsequent bulletins. Now, moving on, a new survey of InfoTrack has placed the popularity of Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party presidential candidate Raila Odinga at 42% ahead of his main rival, Deputy President William Ruto. According to the study, Ruto's popularity rating dropped to 38%. This is a contrast to previous surveys conducted that showed the two presidential contenders in a neck-to-neck race. Have a look.
So Ruto is still leading even after, the decision on the running mates. Ruto is leading in Laikipia, he's leading in Embu, he's leading in Meru, he's leading in Kiambu, in Murang'a, Nyandarua, Tharaka Nithi, Nyeri, and Kirinyaga. Those are his strongholds. Ruto is also leading in South Rift, in Kericho, and in Bomet. Ruto is also leading in Uasin Gishu, in Elgeyo Marakwet, in Nandi, and in Baringo. So those then become the 16 counties where Ruto has a clear lead. It's indisputable. We then also looked at what we considered to be swing or battleground counties, and what led us to make this decision are two things. One is that the percentages in terms of popularity in those counties was either similar, so both of them were getting the same percentage, or the difference in percentage was less than 10%, and we knew the dynamics that were taking place in some of those counties. Okay? So and it may be debatable to you, but you look at the numbers, we have 11 counties where we feel whoever is